When good men are led to the dark side. When good men, perfectly good men, they are led to the dark side by women. Women are such powerful creatures. They really are. A woman that is beautiful, she could walk into a police station and say, "That man did this to me." Him. I remember him very well. It was a Wednesday. I was walking. She could concoct a story. And an innocent man just like that, you said, well, there's no possibility that she could lie or come up with something like that. So you must be guilty. So women can wake up in a way one day and decide they want to punish you for something. Let's say you interacted with her. And when it does occur to you, when it happens to you, we've seen it with athletes. We see with Shakari, you know, with her boyfriend. People, well, ladies would say, well, you must have done something for you to get that type of treatment. But I've learned that they can just wake up that way. What does that do to the masculine ego, right? You like, but I'm innocent. Internally, you know you're innocent. You didn't do the thing. So you get changed, you get transformed, you get new information. You're like, well, how is it possible that the man that I'm trying to do, the good that I'm trying to do in the world, the things I'm trying to do, especially if you are a good man, a righteous man, trying to do the right thing, many men have been transformed to the dark side because of that false accusation. That's one of them, false accusations. There was a lady in Nigeria, she accused a man, she was coaching her children to say that he touched me. And there was another lady in the United States, her daughter was laying on the bed saying, so he did that to you. Now, no matter when that happens, right? This is the sad part. Because I already made the statement that women are powerful creatures, right? Whenever this occurs, if a man is like falsely accused and he goes to the internet and says, this is what happened to me, you know what the sister, because you know misandry runs rampant on TikTok and Instagram and everything. It's just feminism all the way. They're gonna first laugh at him. They're gonna say, "What did you do to that woman?" Because if a woman could go as far as take a man's life, they're gonna say, "Well, he must have done something too hard." We're not gonna look at the wickedness or the evil that she did. We're gonna look at him as lacking something. So now what's happened is even guys with just basic players, you know, that player that mentality. Most young guys do not start off thinking to be players. Most guys, I remember there was a video, I'm sure y'all seen it, of Tupac Shakur saying he used to like love women and you know, it was a little fruity back then. You know, he's like, I love, how can these guys be calling girls the B word? Now we know that Tupac's hip hop career was all about calling women bitches and everything else, right? Why did he do that? Because he changed. So for the desire of women, men turn to the dark side. I know a lot of men that worship women way more than they worship the Most High. I said that. I know many men that worship women because they're gonna buy new clothes just so they can be seen by the woman. They're gonna buy a new car. They're gonna go in debt. They're gonna take a girl on a trip just so that they can show that they care, show that you know they turn up. And the Most High demands loyalty like that and reverence and worship, and we don't give him like that. But many men have been turned, whether it's a false accusation, they get turned to the dark side because you're like, like, do you really sat there and came up with a story, and now I'm in jail, I'm doing time. There's a woman in divorce court. She said she knew that the whole time he was not the father, but she wanted him punished because he had upset her. So many men have been turned to the dark side because the society right now is empowering women to do the most. And when I say the most, I'm not saying the most in terms of like, you know, do the most, show your dance, do your most, be polite, do your most. But the most wicked stuff, they get away with it because a man takes a problem to the internet. The sisterhood is a whole bunch of demons. They are. I cannot use the better term. A man discovers that three children are not his, you must have done something to her. It's you. But meanwhile, you pay bride price. You pay for the house. She let you go, and now you're in the streets. That's what I mean. Apart from getting to the dark side, they take themselves out. So now that there's a shift of understanding. Part of the awakening that people speak of is an awakening, Epstein files. I just think that's a distraction, because nobody, was demonic. The system is like very evil. I don't believe that they're releasing the files in good faith. I believe that it's a game. But the awakening is also knowing that most females, their mind belong to the dark side. Because remember, men never really used to ghost. The ghosting and being stood up was a thing that women did. It's only now that men are ghosting so that women don't like it. They're complaining about men ghosting. But being stood up and, it was just men just took it on the chin. They didn't really come to TikTok and make, videos. I mean, TikTok didn't exist then. But many men have been turned to the dark side. You get with a church girl. Man, I'm in the right spot. Man, I found me a good one. You find out that she's sleeping with the pastor. You find out that she's sleeping with all the deacons. And you was in love, because men love differently. Women can be in the relationship and they're really side eyeing that guy already, or that guy was the one that's really hitting, but she know he's unreliable, so she wants you because she sees you got a good bag on you. We live in an age where women, they're encouraged to not commit. They're not encouraging. So now, when a man who's about something discovers, all of a sudden he turns his attention to this woman, and he feels like there's something going on about her that's good, and he gives his all. And that's another thing. Many men have said the more you give to a woman, the more she resents you. The more you're like, hey man, I'm in love with you, baby. I love you. I can see myself doing life with you. That turns them off. But when people like Future comes along, that's the stuff. Chris Brown, yeah, he'd be taking pictures with all these ladies who are even engaged. I remember when Omale had a concert, the man showed up with his girlfriend. She was happy to jump on stage and grind on him. He dropped the curtain because that's what we got right now. And that's not an isolated incident. What happens to the boyfriend? He gets led to the dark side because they want to pretend that they're emotionally intelligent and somehow we don't feel. We're like logs. You can just strike lightning. The log is just steel. An emotionless thing, log, tree, whatever, just laying there with no feelings. So now what happens to all these men who are jaded? They've been hurt because these girls wanted to, because a lot of girls these days, they do not enjoy exclusivity. They want to be amongst it all. She's already had a train ran on her one or two times. She already did a little menage a trois thing going on. But then, a lot of females be lying. Oh, I have never been treated good, so I want you to be my man. But really, she still has side sausage that she accesses, but she doesn't treat it as a relationship. But then you come in, you're like, oh man, the only reason she's single is because she has not been treated good. Let me treat her good. And you come in and you do everything else. Only you discover that everybody she told you that guy was a friend, that guy's just a friend from high school, that guy's a pastor, they're all hidden. And now you go to the dark side. Your little sense of little heart. And people could say, well, that's a part of the rite of passage to manhood. But it wasn't always like that. The promiscuity level for women is very high because why? They're susceptible to being played because they're online. She posts herself up regularly, so a man's gonna like our photo, and then the same man shows himself that he's somewhere in Zanzibar or he's traveled to New York, and she'll say, "Hey, so where were you here?" She's like, "Oh, I travel for business in New York." All of a sudden, your relationship is feeling flat because this man is in New York, but you're the one that shows up every day for her. She's on social media for validation. They cannot leave that alone. So all these men get turned dark. They get led to the dark side. So I really believe that. Look, if you look at the Genesis account, yes, Eve participated first and Adam participated, but and you look at the Jezebel situation. Okay, we know the story, right? And I don't care if you don't believe in the scriptures, okay? And then you look at the Delilah situation. You look at what happened there. All of that is now combined, and that's what we're dealing with. And you could be trying to be a good man, and that's another thing. If you try to be a good man, it's gonna be utilized. It's gonna be used and abused. There's no desire for women to sit down in one place. They may project that, they will say that because they must look a certain way. Women do not come out and say, like men was like, man, I just want to hit. They'll say, I want a relationship. But meanwhile, the baby daddy or the ex, he still has access. She still wants that. She don't want you to go because she likes what she gets from you. So when these men discover this, it scars them for life. I mean, in some cases, some women get deleted because of it, unfortunately. I mean, I don't condone that type of violence, period, but men already have emotions. Guys be like losing their crap. That the girl breaks up with you, only to discover that when she said she went to see her mama, she was like at her ex's place. They go out and shoot up the damn place. Unfortunately, but a lot of men are being led astray. So what's my point? Let me bring it to a close. My point is what I'm trying to say is that females use their power for evil. A lot of them, not all of them, the majority do, and they teach others to do the same. And then men observe that and they hear that. That's a sermon that's on the pulpit. You can let go of a good guy. Just because it's a good guy doesn't mean that it's a good fit. But meanwhile, when you was buying the engagement ring, you was buying the house, she made you believe that you're the one. So what happens to a man? He turns savage. He used to be a good man. You do one of those romantic gestures. A lot of females are responsible for men being led to the dark side. I'm telling you now. But the thing is, the best way it is for a man is to walk away first. Get a clarity of mind, build yourself up, and then deal with females on your terms. Unless you're able to do that, you're forever going to be played. Because a lot of them, even in their church, church means nothing to them. It's just God is just leveraging. Oh, I want a God-fearing man, but they still go to the club and do whatever they're gonna do. That's the biggest deception. Matter of fact, they say a hoe's final form is a religious woman, right? And we've seen it time and time again. So don't be led to the dark side by a woman. The more beautiful she is, the more likely she's an agent of chaos, and she's gonna lead you to the dark side. And sometimes the dark side just represents you being depressed, you getting on drugs, you being an alcoholic, you can't get over it because you just can't believe that you did all that for her. You could have married a baby mama, and then all of a sudden, like that brother was not invited to the wedding. Oh, I want my daddy to walk me down the aisle, my biological father, but the one who paid for the wedding is a stepfather. And men are seeing these stories. And women say, oh, a real man should step up. You know what I mean? So men have seen the characters of the demonic nature that leads men to the dark side. I said enough. Peace, love, and blessings.